Hi, Wade Kawasaki again. Hey, thank you for joining me, and we are in Rick Treworgy's Muscle Car City, and I mean this place, you are just absolutely, positively not going to believe, and I'm here with Rick. Rick, thank you so much for allowing us to do some filming in here and bringing the public in to be able to see these beautiful cars. And also, I got to thank you for being such a great customer. We really appreciate all these Coker tires that you have over here, so thank you very much for that as well. Now, just to let you know that on January 22nd and 23rd, these cars will all be offered at Mecum Auction without reserve. So everything that you see is going to be available at Mecum Auction, and this is absolutely the finest collection of not just Corvettes and Chevelles and Impalas, but almost all General Motors products, probably that I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's saying something. So Rick's done just a great job of amassing and being able to share in such a beautiful venue this great collection. So we'll continue to be able to walk and look around, but I wanted to let you know that if you're interested in any of these cars, you can go to mecum.com and watch it on January 23rd, 22nd and 23rd. You can register to bid prior to that and then bid on the cars either on the internet, you can bid online, which is on the internet, or you can bid over the phone. So, or you can drive down here to Punta Gorda. We came from Orlando today, and we're only about 2 hours from Orlando. So you could drive on down here to Punta Gorda, and you could bid on these auction items live in person, or like I said, streaming on the video or on the telephone. And not only is Rick selling the cars, but also the road art and the memorabilia. So there's just great stuff. There's something for everybody. I encourage you, because it's no reserve, whether you think you can afford it or not, you should tune in, you should get that bidder's credential, because who knows, you could get the bargain of the day.
It could happen.
And I'll tell you, it's absolutely a possibility of being able to get that done. So we're gonna walk around, and one of the first things is I look, and you look around here, that's amazing. And Rick, you can tell us more about it. Besides these gorgeous 54 and 55 C1 Corvettes, I understand you have every Corvette from series from C1 all the way to C8.
Absolutely.
So when did you get your C8?
I've had it about 6 months now.
Okay.
I was building a home, so it's been in the museum most of the time.
Have you had a chance to drive it?
250 miles. It's brand new, basically.
It's brand new. Well, hey, can we take a walk
Sure.
through the... And what do you call it, a museum or just your
museum?
Collection? Museum, yeah. Okay, yeah, and it's definitely worthy of that. So any cars you'd like to point out to us is...
We've got all these cars are pretty much high performance 4-speeds, the majority of them. That's what I've always concentrated on. I have old cars go back to 1912, but majority of the collection is 60s, 70s muscle cars is what, and Corvettes, I've got a full series of all of them from beginning to end. So, but most of them, if you look at them there, that's the Burgundy cars, an LS6. This is LS5. I mean, they're all substantial big block Chevelles. They're not just passenger cars per se. They all have a reason they're in here.
It's so cool, as I walked around earlier, how many cars just have unique options as well. So you've done a really good job of making sure they're well optioned.
Yep. If I drop down a power range from like these 375 cars, I got 4 of these, which I had a 69 Chevelle as a kid, so just automatically gravitate when I see a nice one, I buy it. But those are all the big block non-air cars. But if I drop down a horsepower range, then I pick up air, power, everything I can get on it, basically.
Right, so if it's a 325 horsepower 396, you're looking for something with air conditioning in it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I see. So it's funny, so one of my first performance cars was a 69 SS396 El Camino.
Okay.
And so that was a 350 horsepower.
I got the best one you ever want to look at right behind this car.
Well, we got to go
That is a 396, 375, and it's stunning. It's
I wish I had that 375 horsepower, but I'll tell you, it was a 350 horsepower turbo 400 car, so it was an automatic car. But my wife drove it around for a while, and it was my girlfriend at the time, and guys would come out to stop signs and be revving on her. It was kind of a incredible experience.
Yeah, I love the incredible. We got a thing from 66 through 71 in here. All of them 4-speed. No, my 67 is an automatic. Most of them 4-speeds and big blocks.
Wow.
And in a lot of cases, high horse. They aren't high horse. They're one step down with air conditioning.
It's nice that they really, kind of check all the boxes, and you have cars here, at every kind of way, shape, or form that do check all of those boxes, and again with just in gorgeous condition too. Do you most of these cars, are they frame off cars, or do you also have some unrestored?
I've got drivers and show cars side by side here. I don't give them a special class because they're a little better car in most cases. I'm more interested when I started this in having one of every year. So if you could stand and start to look at the beginning of the shells, you can see 64, 65, 67, all the way down the line. So you get to see an example of the car's growth over the years.
Yeah, boy, I could see right from here a 67 and a 66 SS 396 Chevelles, and that's a perfect example of what you were talking about. 325 horsepower cars, but both these cars, 4 speeds and air conditioning. That is just awesome.
That's what, if I drop down a range, I'm looking for all the options you can put on the car.
Wow, wow.
And I have toys like this, that's got an LS6 in it. That never happened in a 65 Chevelle, but makes an awful good toy.
So LS6 that came about in 1970 was the first year, right?
Right, and I've got those in several cars. If I have one that wasn't matching numbers anyways or something like that, I'll a lot of times turn it into a LS6. I got a warehouse full of them that
nice.
You
have a warehouse full of LS6s. That's a nice thing, and so that's a mark of a true car guy right there. And if we take a look on that rotating platform, is to me one of the most amazing cars General Motors ever built. And I had in high school, my best friend and I, Jim Cooper, we had a 65 Chevelle with a 427 4-speed in it, 48 rear gear. 48 rear gear, we drove it to high school every day. But that of course was not an original car. This is the ultimate
100%.
Chevelle.
That's number 36 in the registry, and that is a very honest car.
That Z16, 375 horsepower, 396, right?
Yes, and what that was in 65 was the 396. It was in the Corvette. It was 4 1/4 horse.
Right.
They detuned it, put a hydraulic cam in it, and they changed the heads to a small port. They didn't want to outrun the Corvette.
And that was a L38.
Yes.
Yes. So it's an L38 option, 396. So it still had rectangular port heads on it, though, right?
Wayne, I'm thinking it didn't, but I could be wrong.
It did have the aluminum manifold on it. It did have the Holley 780 CFM vacuum secondary high performance carburetors.
They used a lot of Impala. The rear end was the rear end out of the Impala, and that block, everybody thinks the same one's in the 66 and 7. It's not. It was strictly that Corvette motor that was revamped to put out the power they needed it to.
Well, thanks. We appreciate that, Rick. You learn something every day.
Yes.
And we'll just...
I'll get with you in a little bit, okay?
Oh, no, I can't believe you're selling your C8.
I got a new Z06 coming.
So, and the gentleman was just talking about Rick's C8, and there it is, just a gorgeous...
That's a fabulous car. I was building a home when I bought this, and so they took all of the roads off my property. I had dirt, and every time I took this out, I ended up having to go to the job, and so I just decided I couldn't drive it, so I put it in here and left it.
So I understand from our inside sources at GM that they're going to be building out of the C8 platform, not this year or next year, but they're going to be building a Duntov edition of the car as well.
My understanding is they do the Z06, and then they're talking about doing a Z01, and then they're going to do the Zora. And the Zora is going to have the electric front wheels and be over 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah,
so
isn't that
when that comes out, I'll have to buy it just because.
Yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough just to receive this past summer my Ford GT in liquid red, so I might have to get a Duntov in liquid red too. I think that'd be a great. Now, I'll tell you, I mean, Impalas hold a special place in my heart as well. I have a 409 two-door sedan, very rare car in a two-door sedan, but you've got just some magnificent
And these
Impalas.
Impalas are all big block 4-speeds. They're not, not pedestrian cars. They're the ones that were the big dogs. And I start from 58 until 69 is my newest, and they're either 348, 409, or 427 or 454s.
Wow!
And there are a lot of them. Like this car's tri-power air conditioning. They're high options, even as well as being the right cars.
So I got to get Tim over here, and we'll talk about this gorgeous 1962 Bel Air bubble top. It's got the dual quad, so it's the 409 cubic inch, 409 horsepower.
Correct.
And a 4-speed car. I mean, this is like the holy grail of 409 Impalas.
That's the one the Beach Boys sang about. So.
Yeah.
That car is a hard one to place, people. are always looking for that piece.
I just love that W motor in this, and since I'm a hot rodder, my 409 got built by Lamar Walden, and so it's a 509 cubic inch 409, and just the funnest car in the world to drive around in.
And people don't miss it. It's a pretty known marked car. There's quite a few of them out there, but people that have them revere them.
Yeah, they are just great cars, and just a phenomenal example of them. So all of the cars here, although they may not, because they're in a museum, they may not have been started recently, but when they were all parked here, ran perfectly, all the rest of that.
We kept up until about the last 2.5 years I've been in this building. I got older and I wasn't staying on top of them. That's why I'm selling. Right. And but there's no real major problems going on here. Battery, maybe.
Right.
A little bit of bad fuel, but
just
even
within
that,
yeah.
I usually put racing fuel in these when I change out fuel in them, so majority of them aren't going to have any problem trying putting a battery in them and go.
Nice.
And some of them, the batteries are all right. It's not all of them.
Yeah, so Rick, you did mention something that's one of the reasons why you're selling. Why are you selling them all?
Well, I'm 72 years old, and I've done this for 15 years. I've collected for 50 some. And it's just time. Everybody I know is retired, and I should be. And so I want to be. I want to be able to travel and have some free time, go to other people's shows and things like that I don't get to do. So it's just an age factor. I don't want to be 80 and still running this.
Right. And the same thing with the road art. This is just a collection over the last 15, 20 years?
Every time I go to shows and stuff, if I have bought cars and I'm done buying cars, I start walking the flea market end of it, and whatever I find. I've done this for 50 years too, so
nice.
I've got some really pretty cool stuff.
You do.
Pumps and stuff like that.
You do. You have some great road art here, and I love the planes that are hanging. We'll be bidding on a few of those as well. So
I forget about those. I put them up there just for looks, and I actually have the remotes for those, but I've never flown any of them. But.
Oh, so they're all actually running RC?
Oh yeah, they were running vehicles when according to what they told me. I don't know anything about it. I'd crash them, so I'm not going to run them.
Yeah, I would crash them too. So I think they look great hanging from the ceiling in a car barn.
It's a rare piece. That's predominantly original paint, 396, 375, 4-speed, 67. You don't see them much anymore, and they all died.
Wow,
hasn't been restored and don't need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many 67 SS 396, 375 horsepower cars I've seen.
You didn't see those much when they were new, and
oh, this has got the RS.
Yep.
Peekaboo headlights
too. That car's got it all. It's really a unique piece. I got the same thing in 68. That was a California car, 396, 375 Rally Sport. 67 Z28, which is only 602 of those.
Yeah, very few of these made. And is this one unrestored too?
It's been repainted once, but yes, it's unrestored.
Wow. That's super rare. 67 Z28, that is.
It's got the cowl induction on it, which is real rare. They pick up through the vents here and pick up the air.
Yeah, that is awesome.
You can see this never been painted. That's just what it was. You can see a little, it's not rust, but it's getting more pretty thin.
So I love that flat hood cowl induction intake system on these 67s. Just some cool stuff. And this was an original power brake car too, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
Nope, this car just the way we got it. I've had it probably 15 years now.
Really cool, important cars in the Camaro range. It's truly an important car.
They don't know they exist. Everybody thinks they ought to say Z28 on this. Isn't Z28, but these didn't say anything. They didn't say 302. They didn't say anything unless you check the tag on the cowl. You don't even know what it is, shy of the stripes. But everybody changed to these stripes when they come out anyways. So.
And this is an original DZ motor?
Yes.
Wow, very cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. They were MOs the first 2 years. They became DZs in '69, but it's an original 302 Z28 motor.
Wow, very nice.
This is a very wanted car. That 350 horse, 4-speed, air conditioning, every option you can imagine in a rally sport. This car will. If it doesn't do well, there's just something wrong, because that's a
this car is definitely going to do well. I mean, this truly checks all the boxes. I don't think I've ever seen him, and maybe you could do a 375 horsepower air conditioning car with a 4-speed. Was that a thing?
It's 350 horse.
Yeah, but have you ever
No,
seen
they
a
didn't.
300?
They didn't do.
Right, that's what I thought.
They quit doing it on solid lifter cars. I think about 64 or 5. You couldn't get air conditioning on them if they had solid lifter motors. So
Right.
that did away with the high horse ones, kind of, because I guess they were winding out the compressors and stuff. Got a baby doll 69 Camaro behind this. That's a 375 4-speed car, black with a white houndstooth interior. Just a gorgeous little car.
Let's go walk by there. That's.
This one has aluminum heads, which are aftermarket, but the overall car, this interior in this car is just phenomenal to me. It halos out of the car.
Yeah, there's just something about black houndstooth that
Yep.
just really sets a car off, and,
And the
kinda,
white around it in a black car, it just comes together beautiful.
like the tuxedo interiors in the Corvettes. I mean, it just there's something special.
My L89 in my red building, it's a tuxedo car.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those.
I think it's up on a lift, so I'd have to put you on a ladder to look at that one good.
That's okay. I'll get up on the ladder and do that one. Another one looks like this one, a 69 SS 396, 350 horsepower, air conditioning, 4-speed, power brake car. I mean, it just absolutely checks all the boxes. It's some incredible stuff.
These three are all Z28s. This was an original cross frame on that car. Of course, those were dealer installed, but
Right.
it's dated 1969, which is, most of them you see, they're dated yesterday. you
Right,
know? So
exactly.
That's kind of unusual.
Yeah. So it's just you and Reggie Jackson that have them, huh?
I'll show you one a little later that's phenomenal. It's not in this group.
Okay.
This car won the Camaro Nationals twice in a row. The man scored, I think, 380. Got mad, re-restored the car, scored 390 something.
Wow.
And sold the car. It's a gorgeous automobile. It's really done to the nines.
Yeah, this thing is wonderful.
It's a 8,000 mile car, been restored, which is 396, 350 4-speed air, loaded again.
Oh, you even have a nice little pedal car collection
Yeah.
as well.
I've got a Bugatti up there. They sold one at Christie for $34,000. Well, yeah, I don't know what this one will bring. Probably won't be that. same car. This is a 2002 GMMG Camaro. They built, I'm not sure the exact number. There's only 2 that are automatics, and this is one of those, and there's only 30 with the 600 horsepower C5R Corvette race motor in them. This is one of those 30 cars. So this is a
Wow.
pretty unique automobile. It's later model, but it's an animal.
And was this actually produced by General Motors, or
They
it was
they
done by
sent
an
it to
upfitter?
GMMG, who under General Motors blanket,
Right.
they changed the motors out and put this running gear in them. And it was done. There's 69 of them. They're on the back. They got its. The project they built 69 of them. This was last year, the Camaro, and they did it in memory of Fred Gibbs and
Oh,
Vince
yeah.
Piggins. So by rights, this should be a 6-figure car.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will be a 6-figure car. Yeah, I love that.
And I think these were through Berger, if I'm not mistaken. What's that chrome say?
Yep, by Burger. I saw your a little bit ago when I was walking through. I saw that Burger Copo.
Yeah.
That thing is like
That's
crazy.
a stunning car.
It is. That is a crazy car. And I even see some GTOs, so that's fun.
Yeah, I had a pretty big collection detail. I still have 64, 60, no, I sold 64, I guess. 65, 66, 67. I do have a 64. I got a dark blue, I'm sorry. And then we got the two Judges, 69 and 70.
Yeah. Oh, I love that 70 GTO Judge.
I like the looks of that too.
They
got it all come together that year.
It does. So, and yours, again, just super rare. 4-speed Ram Air 3.
Yep.
Ram Air 3 with air conditioning. I mean, that's just ultra rare. I'm fortunate enough to have a 70 GTO Judge. That was a 44,000 original mile car.
Wow. When
I got it. We did a ground up restoration on it on American Restoration.
Oh, cool.
And but the 88% of the interior is all the factory interior from 1970 because it only had 44,000 miles, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool car. Iconic, of course, from the movie, and just a fun car to, and it really kind of epitomizes that early 70s, late 60s, muscular, great car to drive.
Once they got to that new body style, it was kind of the epitome. That was kind of the end of it all right in this era.
Yes, it was. Because of course they changed in 71 and then they changed dramatically in 72.
The power went down.
Yep.
71 kind of had it, but it left after that.
Yeah. And then that red 66 old 442 convertible,
That's
tri-power.
That's a rare car.
Wow. Look at that. And thank you for buying those red line tires from us. Those look good, as well as the wheel Vantiques, those SS wheels. Those are great too, but yeah, look at this. L69, it's 360 horsepower?
360, I believe.
Yeah, 360 horsepower, tri-power, Oldsmobile.
These are actually rarer than a lot of cars. I think there are only 200 some of these built. I don't know if it's on the list or not.
Wow.
It was 200 and something. I don't know the exact figure, but in the tri-power, it's a rare option. First series Trans Am.
Yeah.
Pretty stunning condition.
Absolutely gorgeous. Love that air cleaner in the scoop. That's just too cool.
With all the air, it's complicated, but it works. And we got some older commercial trucks and stuff back here. A couple of cameos and very nice pieces.
I love that. And as we continue to walk around, I was mentioning even the memorabilia is going to be for sale at the Mecum auction. And my father owned a Shell gas station in downtown Los Angeles. That's where I kind of became a car guy, pumping gas and being able to fill the air and those gorgeous wheel and tire packages, check under the hood and wash all the windows. And it was a Shell station. So he had these similar gas pumps, and I'll be bidding on this H60 gas pump as well. So if you're listening, you can bid on any memorabilia you want except for this. I don't know.
This one isn't. We've got gas pumps from probably $1,500 up to $20,000. So there's a lot of.
Well, I'm lucky. Mine isn't one of the 20,000 ones, so I'm fortunate about that. But great aisle of Novas here is just, and with the popularity of Novas, especially the later model ones.
Those two are 396, 375s, which are hen's teeth in today's world.
And those, they are. I mean, you talk about an amount of appreciation, and that. In that year, that mid-year Nova, I mean, it's really crazy how much those cars are going for now. And these are just absolutely two of the rarest I've seen.
Won the Detroit Autorama in its life, and they made a, it's missing. Oh, here it is. They did a, Hot Wheels actually made a model of this exact car.
So Rick, if they bid and get this one, do they get the model?
They'll get the model.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, they get the model too. So what a.
If it lasts till then.
So you get you get two cars for the price of one.
That's it.
Yeah, this 69 Nova is stunning right here. Dover white, 375 horsepower, 396. Wow, all the chalk markings are on it.
These were tremendously fast, and these are both very original cars.
You did a
4-speed. That
great
one's
job.
automatic. I think that one's like a 14,000 mile car, which is unheard of.
And of course, the best thing about the car is the Firestone Redline Firesply tires you have on it, with our, again, Wheel Vintiques wheels, and then of course the Firestone wide ovals that you have on this 1970 Nova. Again, just a great way to set the car off. And
with your tires, you could probably still quarter mile it. This one, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Are those original Firestone wide ovals?
I'm sure they are, yes.
Wow, original Firestone wide ovals. We also, of course, make those, so you can replace those with new ones. One of your rare automatics.
Yep. I'm gonna get a car that has everything else going for it. I overlooked the automatic.
Yeah. And in 70, was that a Turbo 400 that came with that big block?
I'm almost positive, but I don't want to say it without. By 70, I'm pretty sure the performance
Yeah, I'm pretty
had
sure.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, especially a 375 horsepower version. And of course, you got to have both the coupe and convertible and the 63 split window coupe.
Convertible fuel injection. That's 300 horse. The coupe. This is 327, 365 4-speed air. So that's a beautiful everyday car for somebody. Too nice, but it's a beautiful car. That runs flawlessly, and it's got as much power as anything in the air.
Wow.
It's a combination you don't see too much. And
I don't think I've ever seen a 365 horsepower 327 with air.
Above reproach. It's really a nice automobile.
This is a gorgeous car. All right, honey, if you're watching, this is the car that we can take on all the tours. It's got air conditioning, so you're comfortable. Okay, honey, it's not. I mean, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous car, and it would be a super fun one to drive around. And with 365 horsepower, that's a solid lifter cam 327. That's how much better does it get than that?
That's the last they put the air conditioning on the solid lifter cam. It was over after that. So.
I see, okay.
Well, no, they didn't. 65, excuse me.
Okay. Wow, interesting. So Rick, out of all of these cars you have in here, which is, just like I said, an amazing collection, which one do you enjoy the most?
It's hard to say. I always tell people the next one I'm going to buy when they ask me my favorite. But the 67 big block Corvettes, there's a soft spot there. I've got a Restomod over here in the display that wouldn't be a bad one either to use every day.
Yes. In fact, you know what? Why don't we end on that Restomod? Because this Restomod is something pretty special.
The 63 is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. So 63 split window coupe Restomod. I mean, this thing is absolutely gorgeous.
If you look at it, it's custom right down to the door handles, the mirrors. None of that is stock Chevrolet. They changed about everything on the car, but did it very tastefully.
So the nice thing is you still get the classic split window Corvette, great looks,
technology,
but with all the modern accoutrements. So you have air conditioning, I'm assuming, power brakes, power steering,
got it all.
Modern engine.
But it's also done so nice. It's got stainless under the bottom of it and stuff. You almost have to Windex this after you take it out and drive it.
Wow. This will be a big one. This will be a big car.
This might be the biggest one that goes.
Yeah, this is going to be a big car. I didn't even notice that oil display. I need to get one of those. I'm actually that Shell gas.
That Fender guitar is 63 split window too. That's a pretty unique piece.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's awesome. Well, you've certainly done a phenomenal job of collecting and preserving and allowing all of us mere mortals to be able to look at your stuff.
It's just a love. Trust me, this keeps me a mere mortal.
It does. I'll tell you, it's such a passion industry that we're in, that we get the privilege to be able to interact with great people.
I feel real fortunate to have been able to have done this. It's not something I started out knowing I could do. It just happened over time. So I'm fortunate to have a lot of good businesses, and this was a good way to put my collection. It was probably 135 cars when I decided to go museum with it. And I haven't had a minute's thought that it wasn't a thing to do. I've met some amazing people, and it's been a good experience.
Yeah, and that is truly the best thing. And the best thing about my job is that I get to have customers like Rick that we get to hang out with, that we talk, that we bench race. In fact, after this, we're going to go make a run over to Rick's barn and take a look at some other cars. But I got to tell you, there's just no people better than car people.
That's a fact.
Be able to help it. I mean, as we were walking through and before we got on air, I mean, Rick's out there talking with people, shaking hands, answering questions. I mean, it's just a great community. And just as a reminder, January 22nd and 23rd, this entire collection, memorabilia, road art, everything will be auctioned. You can get it live streaming on Mecum.com. Make sure you register to bid first. You could do it on the internet, on that. You can do it on the telephone, but again, you have to register first. Or you can come down here to Punta Gorda, be able to enjoy this beautiful facility and bid in person. It's all no reserve, so everyone's got an opportunity to drive home in the car of their dreams. So thank you again, Rick. We had a great time. And thank you again for joining us. And remember to hit like and follow this page to make sure you don't miss any more content. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us and kind of hanging out with us for a while. And we'll see you next time.